live channeling session. So, I am Jonathan Trinity Martin. I will be channeling an extraterrestrial civilization called the Yahyel, as you probably all know. So, I had another. Hey Dominic, welcome, Shivai. So, where are we? We got some questions already, super chats already. Yeah, I had another sighting here last night. Probably the Yahyel showed up in the sky up there. I was laid down just there, and I just looked up at the sky, and they often like disguise themselves as a star. Like I'll just like look at the sky, and it just often there's a star that looks like slightly brighter than a normal star, or like a bright star like Sirius or a planet or something. I didn't really think anything of it until it started flashing, and then started moving. It it was near Orion, near Orion's belt, and it just looked like a bright star. And then I was like, did that just flash? And it did. It like flashed, and they flash like different to aircraft. Like when you see an aircraft light flashing, it like pulses, doesn't it? Like really fast. It's just like like a really fast flash. But when these flash, that's them blasting the mountain. Don't worry, they're just carving the rock or doing something. If you can hear the bangs, so it's like a pulse. It's like it almost like it fades in and fades out, but faster. It's like it was like that, and then it started moving off as it pulsed, and then it seemed to come back later, and it was just looked like a satellite, but it like got really brighter and brighter and brighter, and then faded out, and then went up into the distance. And then I went out. Like, can you remember last time I said when I had that? I think it was in the last live stream or the live stream before. I talked about this contact experience I had, and well, I sensed they were here, and then they came at night. And before that, I went out down to like the kind of ruin site down here, where I got nervous because it's kind of out like in the middle of nowhere, and it's spooky enough down there anyway, this old Inca ruin site. Like, and so I forced myself to go down there last night and face my fears, and I did. Like, and I was nervous. There was definitely some energy moving in me. But anyway, so yeah, so the ships were back last night. So I will now enter into the channeling state for you guys, as normal. Super chats get answered first, so if you've got an important question, you can send it in a super chat. I'll try and answer some of the non-super chat questions afterwards. And yeah, if you want to book a private session with me, there's a link in the box below to jonathantrinity.com. I've also got a Learn to Channel course starting if you want to learn to channel yourself, starting in March. I have coaching sessions, and it's all linked in below somewhere. And I'm also doing a podcast on Rob Gauthier's. Some of you probably know Rob Gauthier. He also channels. He's got a podcast called The Enlightenment Evolution Hour, and it's this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's live, so I'm going to be going on Rob's podcast this week, and I'm sure we'll be talking all things extraterrestrial and channeling and the like, so it'd be cool to see some of you guys there. And I will now drop into the channeling state, and I shall see you all in another now, probably in around an hour. I'll probably go for around an hour. So I'll answer the super chats first, and any other questions, I'll try and get some of the other questions, the non-super chat ones, answered afterwards. Just adjust my seating. So yeah, seeing the ships last night, super good sign, guys. They seem to be coming more and more. Apparently, a lot of people have been seeing the ships. Apparently, officially, like it's the more sightings than for a long time. So we're looking on for an epic 2023. I think we'll look back I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I think we'll look back on 2023 as a year when extraterrestrials became real on Earth for the masses. Thank you for the super. I see a few come in already. I'll see you soon. Also, I had the dreams. Like I went on the ships again last night. Let me know if any of you had any like these intense dreams where you're in a highly social environment. They often don't appear to be ships. They didn't look like ships. I don't know. Maybe we talk a little bit about this afterwards. But let me know if you guys had any ship experiences. We talk about it afterwards fully. Hello, good day Earth, good day humans, good day YouTube, good day. So, I am Tahinio of the Yahyel. I am communicating once again through the channel in this form, in this way at this time for the purpose of interacting with your civilization, for the purpose of assisting your civilization through what you may term the ascension process, the awakening process, the enlightenment process, the realization that you are actually the reality you previously thought you existed within. Reality actually exists within you. You don't exist within reality. And so this is perhaps the essence of the shift of consciousness you are going through in your world at this time. This is the ascension process. This is the awakening process. This is the enlightenment process. The idea that you are shifting from the direct experience of believing you are a separate individual existing in reality to the understanding that reality exists within you, to the understanding reality is a projection of your consciousness, to the understanding you are creating your reality moment to moment within yourself, within your own beingness, within your own sphere of consciousness, according to your beliefs, according to your directives, incentives, according to your vibrational state of being, according to your emotions, according to your thoughts, ultimately according to that vibrational state that you emit out into your reality, which stems from your beliefs, which stems from your core integrated understanding and who you are and what you are in this world. And this is how you actually created the experience of being a separate individual in reality, in a reality where reality exists within you, because you believe it to be so. You believed it to be real. But as the vibrations accelerate, as the frequencies increase, you will come more and more to see in your direct experience that you are the reality what you previously thought you existed in. So the idea is that the raising in frequency, when you reach a certain threshold, a threshold bar in your reality, in your own experience, in your own being and consciousness, you actually shift directly, due to your vibrational state, into direct experience of being one with all of creation. The idea is that creation is you. There is no separation. There is only you. We are you. You are us. We are all one. And so this is attained, this is achieved through reaching a certain vibrational state. Enlightenment, as you may term it, the idea that where you shift to the direct experience of reality existing with you and you not being a separate individual in reality, occurs when you reach a certain vibrational threshold, and this vibrational threshold is approaching ever closer as a collective experience as the days pass. And so this is the ascension process as we know it. So we will perhaps touch in on the idea of how first contact, how open contact is connected to this experience, connected to the awakening experience, connected to the enlightenment experience. For the idea is that as you shift into a reality where you actually understand that reality exists within you, where you actually begin to resonate as creation, as infinite creation in the here and now present moment, you will begin to attract into your reality mirrors, reflections that confirm this. And one mirror and reflection that confirms this shift is us, is the extraterrestrial presence in your reality. For we have known for some time, many thousands of years, as collective species, as collective consciousnesses, that we are one. We are one with your reality. And so we come as mirrors, we come as reflections. For you cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. But, however, as you are shifting into the vibrational understanding and you are getting glimpses, you are getting ideas, you are getting insights into the understanding that you are one with all creation, that creation is a part of you, that you exist within creation as the creator of creation, and creation actually exists within you. As you shift into this perspective and understanding, you will begin to get mirrors in your reality. You will begin to get reflections more and more in your reality, matching your vibrational state that confirm this. And one of those is us. You will begin to see us actually appearing out your own consciousness. For as your consciousness expands and you attract our starships into your reality, you will actually come to see that this actually causes an acceleration and expansion of your own conscious, when the idea of oneness, the idea of reality existing in you becomes more palpable, becomes more vivid, becomes more real as we enter into your reality and you begin to intermingle with our energetic auric bodies. And so you may, some of you, and certainly with time, more and more of you, actually have the experience that we are actually appearing out your own consciousness, that reality, that the space, the stars, the galaxies and beyond are actually a kind of reflection of your own infinite consciousness. For does not space appear to be infinite? Does it not appear to go on forever? And so the idea is that the universe you are experiencing is a reflection of your expansion into infinite consciousness. And as you become more expanded, as you become more one, as you become more in the understanding that reality exists within you, your consciousness will naturally shift into more infinite perspectives, more infinite realities, one of which is the exploration of space, is the exploration of your consciousness, is perhaps even the idea of stargazing. And so as you begin to spend more time observing the stars, as you begin to stop looking down at your reality, lost in your cell phones, lost in your mundane day-to-day tasks, and begin to expand in conscious, you will naturally begin to look up to the sky, which is an infinite representation of your infinite nature, and thus you will be more inspired to shift your gaze in this direction as a reflection of your expanding consciousness. The stars are. And so in this process, you will begin to see our ships more and more in your reality, as we appeared for the channel last night in this space-time-time-space continuum you call planet Earth at this time. You will begin to know feel, experience directly that reality is actually your own consciousness. You are actually walking around in your own consciousness, and the stars, the space-time reality you see around you is actually your own consciousness, is actually a mirror of your own infinite nature. And this will become more palpable, this will become more vivid, and this will become more real as we begin to interface with your reality over the coming months at an accelerated rate. And many of you will have the direct experience that the stars and the space and the galaxies are your own consciousness, and we are actually appearing out of the depths of your own infinite self to say hello. So, good day and Shivai. So we will now move to the question and answer modality and begin to answer initially some of the super chat questions. So, a question from Darnell Morgan. Thank you for your donation. The channel appreciates it. Hi, are we all ascending together on a collective level? Yes and no. So you are one collective consciousness, and yes, most definitely you are ascending together as a collective consciousness. However, some are slightly ahead of the curve, some are slightly behind the curve. It does not matter. These are all choices you made prior to incarnation and during your incarnation. It is up to you to choose the rate at which you make the ascension timeline. And of course, there are different parallel realities, different parallel timelines. And so within your collective consciousness, there are actually, in a sense, infinite collective consciousness, infinite versions of Earth. Many, perhaps hundreds of thousands more relevant, more likely that you are able to shift between at this time. And you could even say two distinct ones, one that is making a rapid ascension, one that will perhaps not ascend at this time. However, within these realities, there are many parallel realities, many thousands of parallel versions of these Earths. So, yes, collectively, most definitely, always the reality you are in on Earth is a collective experience, is a collective reality. And yes, as the experience, if we just talk linearly, as according to your experience of living on one Earth for a moment, the idea is, yes, you are all ascending collectively. Like we say, some ahead of the curve, some slightly behind the curve, some kind of bouncing around in the eddies of the bow shock wave of acceleration. And so while we say, yes, you are ascending as a collective, yes, you are a collective consciousness, and yes, you will always be bound by some degree to the acceleration of the collective because you are collectively creating your reality, there is opportunities for you to move ahead of the curve. One way, through shifting through parallel versions of Earth, you are actually creating new versions of Earth and shifting to different timelines where the collective is more accelerative as a reflection of your own expansion. And of course, looking at it more linearly, you are certainly able to push the limits and push the boundaries to be one of the people riding the wave, riding the cutting edge of the acceleration and the ascension and the expansion at this time. And the way to do this, of course, is to align with your passion, align with your mission, your calling, your highest excitement, your life purpose. Take the steps in each and every given moment, the next stepping stone that you feel intuitively guided in, not listening to fear, not listening to doubt, not listening to self-criticism, lack of self-worth. Know that you deserve to step into the highest timeline possible in your reality. Know that you deserve to live your highest excitement, your dreams and your wishes. And know that you can let go of fear, that fear never serves you in your reality. Fear never serves you in your reality. Fear never serves you in your reality. Fear is the delusion. Fear is the deluded state. Fear is the antichrist, the opposite of the love light consciousness frequency. And so the idea is that as you move forward through stepping onto the ascension timeline, many of the experiences you attract in your reality will actually be designed specifically by yourselves and your higher self and consciousness and creation as a collective to actually highlight in yourself any fears that still remain in your reality, allowing you to purge them, allowing you to really assess whether they assist you in moving forward, whether they assist your fellow humans, whether they assist your own blissful expansion into a joy-filled reality at this time. And the more you experience fear in your reality, the more, through following your excitement, you actually attract to you that which will highlight any discordant vibrations, any fear-based experiences, beliefs you still hold on to give you the opportunity to transcend and transform them. You will very clearly be able to see through this process that they not serve you. While these fears were kind of hiding in your subconscious, hiding in the shadows of your being, they can still kind of direct your life. They can still kind of direct your experience in reality from your subconscious. However, as you begin to attract experiences through following your excitement, through stepping onto your path of expansion, and of course expansion includes facing those dark shadows within yourself so you can transmute them. Expansion, acceleration, ascension is becoming more aware of the darkness, not becoming less aware of the darkness, pushing it away, avoiding it. It is actually becoming more aware of the darkness so that you can actually see it as a choice, so that you can actually become aware of the options. So the fears, the discordant vibrations are no longer hiding in your subconscious. You're actually forcing them into your conscious through attracting your circumstances and situations that will allow you to experience these fears. And in doing so, you will be able to observe them to a higher degree, gain more clarity about what the stories are behind them, what the belief system behind them is that causes you to believe that they can serve you. And the more you become aware of them, the more you observe them, the more you will understand and become very clear that they are not serving you. It will become very obvious in your new understanding of how you create your reality. And once you understand very clearly that they no longer serve you, this is the beginning of the end of that paradigm, this paradigm that has been holding you back in your reality. So follow your highest excitement. Do not hide from your fears. Allow them to bubble up. Allow yourself to become aware of them. Allow yourself to experience the energy of fear, and perhaps even write it down. Take a journal of the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions you're experiencing when fears arrive, and this will serve you as in the ability to gain greater clarity as to how they very clearly do not serve you. Some of them will be very obvious that they do not serve you at all. Some will seem completely ridiculous as you become more centered and more aware of these beliefs. Some may still be able to trick you, but we would suggest that if they are still tricking you, perhaps observe whether there is a deeper underlying belief that is causing you to identify, causing you to hold on to this perspective, such as perhaps my family won't love me if I let go of this fear, or perhaps society will judge me if I stop acting in this way. Perhaps people will ridicule me if I let go of this fear and just step out into my highest excitement. So really spend some time becoming aware of the discordant vibrations. Really spend some time becoming aware of those fears in your system that are no longer serve you. And the more you gain clarity, the more you observe them, the more you allow them to bubble up into your system, the less you resist them, hide them away, distract yourself with a movie, your cell phone, running away, going for a run, eating food, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Nothing wrong with a little bit of rock and roll, of course, but if you are using these things to hide from every time you feel a fear come up and you're kind of going, oh, go away, I'm scared of you, fear, go away. This is not assisting you in integrating it into your consciousness and expanding your consciousness, because of course the ascension path is the path of expansion, is the path of integration, is the path of becoming more aware of your infinite self. And you cannot become more aware of your infinite self if you are avoiding unpleasurable emotional states when they arise. So we invite you to invite them in. Next time you feel a fear, next time you feel an uncomfortable emotion, next time you feel something coming up that you do prefer, we suggest you do not suddenly try and avoid it by going, I don't like this, I'm going to go to my cell phone and go on TikTok to escape from these discordant vibrations. I feel better. For if you do this, they will keep coming up, they will keep coming back, and they're actually causing internal chaos. They're causing a kind of bouncing around of different emotional states, different mental states that will begin to exhaust you with time, where you get to the point where you're so exhausted that you just have to collapse and you are no longer even able to find the energy to scroll through TikTok and thus forcing yourself to face your fears, face the discordant vibrations and begin to transform them. So we suggest you do not let yourself get to this place. We suggest you begin to allow more and more these discordant vibrations, these fears to well up into your being, to well up into your consciousness. And this will naturally begin a process of you gaining more clarity. And over the weeks, over the coming months ahead, you will very clearly begin to see these thoughts, these beliefs are ridiculous. I know they don't deserve me. And this is the beginning of the end of that pain and suffering experience in your reality. Amen. So, a question from Babito7. Can you give us more information about the Pleiadians of the Taigetan civilization, their density, what they look like, and so on? One moment. We would suggest that they are a sixth density consciousness able to project their consciousness into physical form. So they may appear as what you would see as a physical entity, a physical being. However, they are actually non-physical collective consciousness in their nature. For the purpose of interaction with your civilization, they have chosen to project themselves in what you might call fourth density vehicles for the purpose of interaction with your world. They look somewhat human in nature. They are perhaps, in the forms they have taken, some of the closest in visual appearance to your human civilization. Due to their much higher frequency and love light vibrations, they naturally form in appearance that you would call more beautiful, more aesthetically pleasing. Many of you will find yourselves attracted to them as they begin to appear in your reality, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And so this is one of the reasons why they have volunteered to be one of the first civilizations to interact with your reality. For they embody the idea of sixth density, non-physical, service to others consciousness in realms coming close to angelic realms of service and love and light. And so this, along with their appearance, that is a reflection of what they somewhat look like in other versions of themselves in past, linearly speaking, realities. So their density. So we hope this answers your question. And yes, they will be one of the first civilizations to interact with your reality at this time. So another question from Babito7. What does a Yahyel being look like? So we are somewhat shorter generally than you humans. We tend to have larger eyes. We mostly have irises, very often a kind of vivid blue color, sometimes greens, sometimes grays, more rarely browns in our irises. Us males tend to have no hair. The females tend to have some hair, often a little wispy, often not as thick as the hair as you humans. We tend to have smaller mouths, smaller noses, smaller ears. We tend to be more slim, perhaps what you may call wiry, although we are actually very strong. due to the environments we have been living in. The electromagnetic frequencies in our ships tend to cause a strengthening of muscles to what some of you may call superhuman strength relative to our size and our frame. We do not always wear clothes. We tend to when interacting with your civilization, as we understand this is not considered appropriate in your civilization. Our skin is generally somewhat between human skin, although generally more white, greyish in colour. So you could say Caucasian, but more grey-white, sometimes very white, sometimes very pale grey, sometimes slightly more human tones. Occasionally a little hair on the body, but it is rare. We hope this answers your question. So, a super chat question from Ufuk City. One moment while the channel regenerates a little. So, the question from Ufuk City. If existence is simply being, where does becoming change come from? Or what is becoming change? Or how is becoming change even possible? So the idea is that we could say there are two polarities, two sides of the same coin in creation. There is the infinite unmanifest reality that we may call the one. This is infinite self, prior, linearly speaking. Coexisting is the true nature of this. However, for the term of explaining, we may use the term prior. We could say that pure consciousness, the one, the absolute unmanifest reality, is infinite consciousness in its unmanifest state, perhaps pure infinite potential. We may call this the one, the absolute reality. And so this is the state of pure beingness. And so for this state of consciousness to experience itself, it desired to create greater understanding of itself, and thus created a reflection of its own infinite nature in form, in manifest reality. And this is infinity as you know it. This is the idea of the infinite multiverses of creation, the idea of all that is, the idea of all that is being everything it can experience, coexisting simultaneously. So the idea is that the one is the all and the all is the one. The idea is that you are nothing and everything. You are pure infinite beingness and infinite manifest expression simultaneously. So this is where we begin to step into the paradoxical nature of reality and the idea that you are nothing and you are everything. And you can actually experience this for yourself. The idea that in meditation, as you begin to come quiet, as you begin to still your mind down through regular practice of meditation, you will begin to get experiences of deep peace, deep silence, awareness beyond physical mind, awareness beyond thought. And in this experience, you can begin to understand that you are actually nothing, perhaps more accurately, no thing. For you are sensing into your true nature beyond form, beyond physical reality. You are becoming that which gave birth to experience, but you are actually also that which is contained within all experience. So next time you begin to become more relaxed, you begin to become more quiet, you begin to step into your stillness, the emptiness, as it is termed in some of your religious methodologies on your world. And you begin to notice that you are not the thoughts you experience. You can perhaps sense that in this silence, in this stillness, you are actually also infinite. You can begin to sense how the peace, the silence, the stillness has no beginning, has no end. It is boundless, and therefore it is infinite. And you can now also begin to notice that this infinite peace, this infinite silence actually exists within all aspects, all beings, all experiences in creation. And so you may see that the beingness, the pure awareness, is actually present. The stillness, the 0 point, is actually present in all expressions in your reality, is actually present in all expressions of your creation. And so the beingness and the 0 point, the ground of being, the non-movement, the essential essence of yourself, is actually in all expression, all expansion, and all movement. And so the nature of the manifest reality is that everything is changing, everything is in flux, everything is constantly experiencing itself and reflecting back to itself different experiences from different points of view. Yet at the same time, all of these experiences are expressions of your true, infinite, still, unmanifest state. So this is the paradoxical nature of reality, and this is how the beingness, the pure awareness, the ground of being, and the constant flux, the constant movement, the constant change in your reality are one and the same thing. And so one of the rules, one of the laws of the manifest world is that everything is changing. Nothing is static. Nothing is still. And so this was kind of necessary for the unmanifest realm to experience the paradoxical polar opposite of stillness, beingness. It was necessary for this state to begin to express as flux, as change, as consciousness constantly mirroring back to itself from different experiences, different expressions. Change is one of the laws of the manifest realm, the manifest reality. We hope this answers your question. So, a question from Sukhbir Singh. Please make any 5 predictions for me up to 2025, please. Well, one prediction we will make is it will become known in your reality that we exist, that extraterrestrials have been interacting with your reality for many millennia, and will continue to for many millennia, for perhaps infinite time into the future. So one prediction we will give that prior to 2025, it will become known that all beings in your reality are aware that, or the vast majority, 95% plus of humans in your reality will know for a fact, know for sure that extraterrestrials are in visitation to your world. Another prediction we will give is there will be a rapid acceleration of transparency due to the raising frequencies and the raising vibrations into the fifth dimensional fourth density reality. People will find it very difficult to keep secrets. People will find it very difficult to hide technologies, wink wink. People will find it very difficult to hide anything. And so one thing we pretty much guarantee before 2025, or perhaps during 2025 in your reality, there will be a sudden lifting of the veil. There will be a sudden unraveling of the true history of your planet. There will be a sudden revealing of the nature of extraterrestrial contact. There will be a sudden revealing of a lot of information that has been purposely hidden by you, by your governmental organizations. They will no longer be able to hold on to their lies. They will no longer be able to hold on to their secrets. Consciousness, thought, perception, ideas, knowledge will become very slippery. It will kind of slip naturally through the cracks as you go through the shift in your reality and the consciousness of your world expands. You will naturally become mirrors. You will naturally attract reflections of your own expanding consciousness, your own, as the grip of the egoic state, as the grip of the negative egoic state, the limited mind function loses its grip in many beings in your reality. The tendency of the egoic state to kind of shut yourself into a box, to kind of believe your beliefs, to kind of limit yourself in your understanding. As your frequency rises, you will begin to shift out of a belief state reality where your beliefs determine what you experience, and you will begin to shift into a vibrational state where you're directly tapped into the nature of creation. And you will begin to understand that all information, all wisdom, all knowledge of infinite creation is accessible to you at any minute. And from this state, you will also begin to understand that there is no limitation. There are no limits on your reality. It's not either this or that. It's not either this is true or that is true. It is the understanding that all things are true, all perceptions are real, and it's what vibrationally you choose to align with that determines what you experience in your reality. And so as you go through this vibrational expansion in your reality into your true infinite nature, understanding that all beliefs are true, all realities are real, and is the vibrational state of choosing which experience you wish to tune into that creates the fabric and structure of your space-time, time-space, earth-space reality. As you make this vibrational shift, you'll naturally see mirrors and reflections in your reality that no judgment to these beings that have been keeping secrets reality from you, that have been keeping secrets from you, that have been keeping technology, healing modalities, energy devices, pollution reducing technologies as these kind of technologies that have been known about in some what we may term black budget products, some secret societies, some organizations in your reality. In the past, they have been reflecting back to you your own beliefs in limitation. It is not their fault. You cannot blame them for mirroring back to you your own beliefs in limitation, your own beliefs in not deserving this more expansive, more blissful reality in your world. It is not their fault. They are kind of bound by your own beliefs to hide this information from you. However, as you come to understand that anything is possible and you have the ability to create very different realities for yourselves according to what you desire to create, to co-create in your world, as you go through this vibrational shift, these beings in your reality that have attempted to hide this information from you in the past, it's kind of like they will no longer be able to. The information will find nooks, it will find crannies, it will find slips, it will find ways out of the system. They will no longer be able to create systems that are able to hide this information, for the information will naturally be finding its way to you as you understand that you deserve, and this information is necessary for your own expansion. So there will be less secrecy in your reality. This is one prediction we will make. Around your 2024 period, there will be a kind of mass awakening, a kind of mass expansion of consciousness. The ascension we have been talking about, where you begin to shift a critical threshold, where you begin to actually tap into and sense into, initially a little at a time, initially just glimpses, initially just flickers of this reality. There will be a significant acceleration of the expansion of your collective consciousness towards the end of 2024, where many beings in your reality will be able to get glimpses. They will begin to get flickers of their infinite state of consciousness, that true pure infinite state, the understanding that they are the creation they previously thought they existed within. And this will create a significant shift in the collective consciousness of humanity, which will thus, in reflection, cause the reflections that we have previously pointed to in your reality about the transparency and the inability for your systems to hide information from you, when you enter the understanding that you are actually all the information, and the information is already contained within you. So you will begin to mirror this and get these reflections back in your reality. We sense also around this time there will be, perhaps also connected to the understanding and the revealing of technologies that are able to assist, a large movement on your planet to begin to repair the biosphere. It will no longer be a kind of battle of ideas and beliefs from certain organizations that things need to be done a certain way and need to be done with a certain timeline, and these organizations perhaps not being wholly centered towards the benefit of the whole planet. There will be as a side effect of this expansion of consciousness and a side effect of these new technologies beginning to become available to your civilization, there will be a big centered movement to move towards the idea of repairing your biosphere, towards removing the pollution in your seas, returning the seas to their natural states, replanting the jungles, replanting the rainforest, replanting the trees around your world, which are critical to the rebalancing of the biosphere and the natural removal of toxins from your reality. And so this is another prediction we will give for this time. And along with the information that us and others will be sharing, you will begin to come to a collective understanding of exactly what you need to do to repair your planet's energy field, repair your planet's biosphere. And incidentally, the idea is that this shift will come due to a shift in the collective consciousness, causing a vibrational shift in the auric field, in the energetic aura surrounding your world. And it will initially be an energetic shift that will allow the information to become available to your world at this time. And so perhaps this could be the fifth prediction we will make, that by 2025 there will be a significant shift in the energetic field, in the auric field. It will begin to shift to what you may call a fourth density auric field, which is a true beginning of your fourth density reality. And this will occur sometime around 2024. So we hope this helps answer your question. So another question from Sukhbir Singh: how you see my physical contact with you? It will initially occur through the appearing of our ships in your skies, more and more in your reality. As we move through this year 2020-23, you will begin to see glimpses, you will begin to see winks in the skies, which will accelerate towards the end of the year, where you get more solid sightings in your reality. From here, we will begin to interact with you through the year of 2024, through astral interactions, through energetic interactions with your being, and opening up the potential somewhere between 2025 and 2023 for physical interaction with us, depending on the acceleration and expansion and readiness of your own consciousness for this experience. So, another question from Sukhbir Singh. Can you please describe my life from time of Atlantis? Yes, we sense you worked in the priesthood. Your role was kind of administrative in nature. Understand that administrative roles were very highly valued in this civilization at this time. You were somewhat involved with the crystal technologies. The idea of being a crystal keeper, being responsible for maintaining the vibrational space around the crystal, ensuring it didn't come into contact with discordant vibrations. The idea of one of the ways the Atlantean beings interacted with crystal technology is the idea that they would periodically download their own consciousness into crystals, crystal skulls, crystal spheres, crystal balls as you call them, crystal points. And so the idea is we sense you were specifically involved as a keeper of one of the crystal balls, the crystal spheres, that was from time to time moved around your civilization of Atlantis from temple to temple, from consciousness center to consciousness center, with the purpose of impregnating this crystal with certain frequencies, certain perspectives, certain paradigms, so that it would be, when the time came, stored in a location under your earth, so that the wisdom and the vibrational consciousness would be able to radiate out into your earth for the next cycle of 2,600 years or thereabouts in your reality. And so one of your roles was to ensure that the sphere did not come into contact with any perspectives, any vibrations, any less than service to other in the highest degree of love light frequencies, so that it may be kept in a pure state. And so this was one of your roles as the keeper of the crystal sphere, to transport it from location to location, somewhat under wraps, sometime away from the eyes of those beings that may wish to interfere, may wish to glean some of their energy, may wish to feed off the energy for their own self-being. And so it was one of your roles to keep this crystal sphere safe, protected, and transport it between temple locations for specific downloads of specific information at specific times that were to assist your reality at this time. We shall perhaps be able to share more information with you upon this idea as we move forward in your reality at this time. One moment while the channel re-oxygenates his system, re-energizes, recalibrates. So, a question from Mind Music Meditation. I tried to channel an entity in 2020, but the session broke because I started shaking and laughing, and the energy was very overwhelming. Can you tell me who or which being was it, and any message from them? One moment. Yes, we are sensing you were tuning into the consciousness of the Shikani, the consciousness of the Sasani, as it was once known, civilization. So the civilization of the Bashar. And it was their exceedingly high frequency causing an energetic upgrade, an energetic shift, that which you may term Kundalini rising in your vehicle, which caused the shaking as the energy moved up your spine, which caused the laughing as the energy moved into your higher centers and you began to align with the perspective of the Sasani, the Shikani, where in a sense everything is humorous, everything is hilarious, for in a sense reality is one big joke. We shall perhaps share more of this on the future. Do not misunderstand this, but humor is kind of connected to the nature of reality. And so in a sense, the idea of suffering becomes very humorous from a higher perspective because you understand that it doesn't make any sense and it's actually entirely self-created. So what could be more humorous than the realization that you've been creating your own suffering in your reality for thousands and thousands of years when you could have actually just shifted in an instant to ecstasy and bliss? It becomes somewhat the joke when you truly see this. So we suggest you are connecting in with the Shikani civilization, Bashar's civilization. And this is the message they wish to share. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to hide from, for you are infinite, unconditional love, light, bliss. And the more you accept this and stop resisting this, the more you will experience it directly in reality, and all the more humorous it shall be. Amen. Sukhbir Singh, in which month you see me going to Australia? We sense, according to your current vibrational field, September would be a very good time to take this step, if things align in that direction. Let's see what manifests. So we will take one or two non-super chat questions. Since we have come to the end of the super chats. So a question from Hermal Bilamoria. Hi Yahyel, how to deal with fear? The more I go within, I have more fear come up. So this is exactly the way, and we sense we have synchronistically already tapped into, already answered this question. However, we will give you some reminders. The idea that, as you say, the more you go within, the more the fear comes up. This is the way you deal with it. For, as we have previously stated prior in this transmission, the idea is that most of your fears exist within your subconscious mind, and they are actually directing your reality, directing your responses to certain situations, and actually creating your entire experience to some degree from your subconscious. And so the idea is that as the more you go within, the more you dive into your own consciousness, the more these fears begin to become conscious, begin to make them conscious. So you are actually already going into the first stage of transmuting fear. You are making your unconscious conscious. There is a famous saying from a famous psychologist in your reality. Until you make your unconscious conscious, it will guide your life and you will call it fate. And so this is the idea. And so you are in the first stage of this process, you are making the unconscious conscious. Understand, as you are going within and as you feel the fear amplifying, the fear getting, in a sense, overwhelming. And we sense if it is too overwhelming, you can take a break. You do not have to re-traumatize yourself. You do not have to face anything that just feels unbearable. But if you feel you can cope with it, if you feel it is just uncomfortable, and you do not hide from it the minute it comes up. This is the process of making the unconscious conscious. And so we would suggest keeping a journal, writing it down. For the idea is that when you are in the fear state, the fear tricks you into identifying with it. For the fear is just an out of alignment belief system, and no belief system wants to die. Nothing in creation wants to come to an end. It's kind of one of the traps of physical manifest reality. And so the idea is that the fear is defending itself. The fear is doing everything it can to tricking you into believing it's an ultimate reality. It is real and there's no way out of it. However, if you keep a journal of the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions, particularly the stories, the mindsets associated when this fear comes up, if you keep a journal, if you write them down, then in the future, a few days later, when you are in a more positive state, and this is always the case, your reality is like the roller coaster that keeps going up. You have highs and lows and highs and lows and highs and lows. Lows when the fear is tricking you, highs when you see through the fear, lows when the fear is tricking you, highs when you see through the fear, and you're always moving up, your frequency always rising. And so one secret to really moving through these fears is to keep a journal, begin to note down these fears as they come up, and then look at them a day or two later when you are no longer in the fear state, when you are feeling more positive and uplifted. And you will find very often that those fears, that when you are trapped in the vibration and the belief and the identification with that state of being seemed so real, will now actually seem completely hilarious and ridiculous. And this is the beginning of becoming aware, making the subconscious conscious, and transmuting it and realigning it with fears that you know serve you. So you can ask this question: how do I believe this fear is serving me? What must I believe is true about this fear to believe it is serving me? And the more you observe this, the more you undertake the practice that we have given you about writing down the fear when you're in the low state, observing and reading back what you wrote when you're in the high state, along with assessing whether this perspective serves you in your reality. This is the process of untangling your fear and being free once and forevermore. Amen. So we will take one more super chat question as we spin the wheel of fortune. Timmy's 3rd birthday. I want your brain to play with me, and then I can go to sleep. Well, if you wish to connect with us, and we suggest this is what you're saying, you can make a little meditation, a prayer if you wish, an affirmation, a visualization, and really just setting the intent nightly before you go to sleep to connect with our civilization, to connect with the Yahyel. You can perhaps use a symbol to connect with us. If you do a Google search for Yahyel symbol, you will likely find a symbol that represents our civilization. You can meditate on this before you go to sleep. You can meditate on the idea of the black triangle, of which many of our scout ships are formed as. You can even listen to a bit of this transmission, and then meditating on the energy, meditating on the frequency, meditating on the image that I described earlier in this transmission of what we look like, and just setting the intent to connect with us before you go to sleep, perhaps an hour before you go to sleep, spending a few minutes to meditate, a few minutes to tune into our frequency through using the symbol we suggested, through doing anything you can to reconnect your consciousness to our frequency, such as listening to this channeling, and meditating on this energy, meditating on the symbol, meditating on any symbol or image that connects us to your civilization, and sending the intent that you wish to connect with us vibrationally, energetically, or in what form you wish. And this will begin more and more to connect you to our consciousness, where you can, as you say, allow our brains to play with you before you go to sleep. We hope this answers your question. So we will take one more question at this time. So, the high altitude object over Alaska that was shot down recently, what was it? One moment. It was a probe. It was not terrestrial. It was connected to the tall whites, another hybrid species, who were also the pilots of what you know as the Tic Tac UFO. It was kind of a energy sensor device. There were no beings involved. There was no damage to anyone inflicted, no pain caused, apart from a slight vibrational sensing of the destructive energies of your world. But it was an energy sensor, and it was a reflection of the movement towards open contact. It was a reflection of the understanding of beings in your reality, that objects are interacting with your skies. So in a sense, it was created through an expansion of your consciousness into the awareness of objects operating in your system. It was a very simple device, really, for collecting vibrational frequencies that we and the tall whites could download from and gain an understanding of the vibrational state in your reality. You could say it was a vibrational frequency sensor to give us more data on when you are ready for open contact and how we should move forward. We hope this answers your question. And so, on that question, we shall begin to hand you back to the channel. We love you eternally. We shall see you in another Now Earth Humans. Good day. Well, that was interesting, guys. I thought about that earlier, and I thought it was just a terrestrial probe. Be interesting to see what the government says. Do you think they'll tell us the truth, guys? Yeah, so thank you very much, guys. That was really cool. I think I have to get off because I have a course. I'm holding a course. It starts in 50 minutes. So I need to do some administrative tasks associated with that. So if you'd like to book a private channeling session with me, or sign up for my March Learn to Channel course, or sign on to my coaching program, you can actually get a free call with me if you're interested in the coaching program. Check out my website in the link below, jonathantrinity.com. And also, I'd like to see some of you guys, hopefully on Wednesday. I'm on Rob Gauthier's Enlightenment Evolution Hour live podcast at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday evening. So it'd be cool to see some of you guys tuning in live on YouTube. The link's actually in the text down here below. You can just click that link on Wednesday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. And it'd be cool to see some of you guys tuning in for the live podcast with my good friend and buddy, Rob Gauthier. So I shall see you all in another now, guys. Peace, love, light, and Shivai.